What's going on, everybody? Fire fam, welcome. It's the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze because we understand that as long as these oppressive systems continue to exist, people will continue to suffer. And you know what? I think people have suffered long enough. It's time to get these rich fuckers out the paint. Y'all with me? Let's go. Hey, Fire fam, I'm so excited to see you guys in here today. We have a wonderful, fantastic show for you. Really quick, of course, I gotta shout out everybody that's coming true. I see my people. I see Imani. Come through, Imani, now. I see you, baby. Come through, Louis Kang. My girl, my niece, Alicia. Who else we got in here? Jan or Jan. Is it Jan or is it Jan? I know we have some folks that watch us from over in Iceland and in Nordic places as well. I see Valley Girls in the building. Of course, my bruv Latif is in here. Afraid Not. Donnie, my baby. Big Teal's in the house. Franny Francais, stand up. Y'all, stop the presses. Franny Francais is in the house. And I see Courtney, the SLP, in the house. You see my mods in here, mod and strong. I do not see Chuck Diesel. Does Chuck have an unexcused absence today? No. We did not approve that PTO request. Chuck Diesel, denied. And don't you moderators get no ideas. Y'all start to unionize and shit. Of course, you guys know I am only kidding. Listen, guys, we have a fantastic program in store for you today. Lots of topics to get into. One of our dear comrades, former Black Panther, Eddie Conway, guys. Eddie's not doing so good. Eddie's actually been hospitalized. And he had a birthday recently, just a few days ago, and Eddie turned 76 years old. So around towards the end of the program, I want us to acknowledge not only Eddie's contribution to the liberation of our people, but I want to let you guys know in ways that possibly you can help Eddie during this tough, challenging time that he and his family are facing. His wife, Dominique, penned a very moving piece for her husband. And of course, we want to send love to Eddie Conway. Also, guys, we're going to do a lightning fast edition of Cops Ain't Shit. And this time, we're going to put the spotlight on Baltimore County Police. I'm always quick to point out the failures and the failings of law enforcement everywhere, but I will not hesitate to put the spotlight on where I live, my home state, Maryland. Maryland's not as progressive as advertised. Let me tell you something real quick about this Baltimore County story about how cops ain't shit. Cops went to arrest some people on suspicion of murder charges. Somehow, a police-involved shooting happens, right? Except the police, number one, failed to make the murder charges against the people they were seeking to arrest stick. Those charges have been dropped. But in that police-involved shooting, the police actually shot a passerby, a bystander, who remains in critical condition right now. Okay, and the Baltimore local media is doing a really good job of burying this story of sorts. So I want us to talk about that. We're also going to get into briefly the Supreme Court ruling recently against Puerto Ricans receiving SSI disability benefits. Is just another example of why Puerto Rico needs to not be a state, but Puerto Rico needs to be a free country, free from the colonization of the United States. And I want us to also discuss really quick about some of the radical actions that some of our white brethren and sistren took part in over the weekend. The story that the media is trying to bury about the self-immolation of a man on the steps of the Supreme Court on Friday. The media has intentionally blacked out this story because it was a selfless act of political rebellion. So I want us to get into that and a lot of other things. But the first thing I wanted to talk about today has to do with an upcoming conference this weekend being brought to you by the good folks at the Revolutionary Blackout Network. It is an anti-imperialism conference, and it's going to discuss the many reasons why we as Black people need to unite and to take down empire, to dismantle imperialism. And I'm so very excited, humbled, and honored to welcome my guest today. We are joined straight from the Revolutionary Blackout Network, co-founder Nick and RBN member Josanna. I'm so excited and so glad that you guys were able to make some time to hang out with the Fire Fam on Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Welcome you both.
Hello, my friend. How you guys doing? Good to be here.
Hi
Josanna,
everyone,
say
good to be
hi.
here. Hi, good to be here. I'm new to this.
All
Really good to be
good.
here. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and thank you both so much for being here. And Josanna, you are new to BIDWKB, but you are not new to this work. And I want you guys to talk to us about what is going into this weekend's conference. Some of the folks that you all have invited, some of the topics that you plan on conquering, and really giving everybody the reasons. I don't think we lack the reasons. There are lots of reasons to dismantle empire and to be an anti-imperialist. But this is a part of ongoing political education that you guys are doing with your audience and beyond. So Josanna, let me start off with you, babe. Talk to me about what we can expect this weekend and what are some of the things you guys are going to get into.
I'm very excited about the summit. I was telling Nick yesterday, I couldn't stop texting him. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Because all that I wanted is for us to see each other, like people in the South America, people in Europe, people in the continent of Africa, people in the Middle Eastern. Like we get together and we talk about what we need to do as together people to defeat the empire, right? Like to be able to thrive on earth. And we have so little time to get to that conclusion. And I've always been keen of the union of the people, especially like a Pan-American and a Pan-African union. We will see you in this panel, School of Pan-Africanism, Kim, on Sunday, 3 p.m., right?
Yes, I'm excited about that. So Nick, so we're seeing gross displays of empire, right? I mean, not to say that we haven't already, but this conflict with Ukraine, as we are seeing this proxy war play out between the U.S. and Russia, and how a lot of folks are getting caught up in this propaganda, but that's another story. But why is it's so important now to highlight why empire needs to be fully dismantled, and are we starting to see the fissures, the cracks starting to come within empire to know that perhaps its defeat is closer than what we may think?
Yeah, we have young people, especially young colonized Black and Brown people who are not buying the BS that comes from empire anymore. And that's another reason why we started this network, so we can help debunk U.S. empire propaganda. And you brought up Ukraine, Russia, and specifically, it drives me crazy seeing my fellow Black and Brown people cheering for NATO, despite the crimes of NATO that they committed in Africa and against Black and Brown people. NATO was a power that was designed to enhance the power of the colonial state that we have revolutionary fighters that are fighting to dismantle. NATO provide material support for the Portuguese when they were colonizing Africa, when there was a movement for independence there. So NATO, the U.S. empire in the West, have played such a horrific role in the last half a century when it comes to, even way longer than that, to be clear. But ever since the establishment of NATO, they've been actively aggressive against any sort of Black, Brown, indigenous liberation movement from the colonial state. Now, I'll bring this up as just one example of why we are All Black Network. You guys got a lot of great Black voices who speak up on imperialism, because our old revolutionary leaders, we understood that the struggle against empire and the struggle against imperialism and the struggle that we deal with in our domestic lives are very connected and very intertwined. And when I look at, and I talked to Josanna, who's Afro-Brazilian as well, and I talked to a lot of Brazilian activists that she brings to our community, and we appreciate her for doing that. We realized man, we got a lot of the same struggles. They have a rapacious neoliberal police state in Brazil. We have a rapacious neoliberal police state in the United States of America that designed to transfer wealth from the workers to the top 1%. So I was just thinking man, we need to, there's no way we can challenge the system. There's no way we can dismantle it with just a movement from California to New York. You know what I mean? You see how NATO, you see how the United States, They have allies. They have international allies. They got the UK they can call on. Japan is like a proxy state for them now. Israel's a proxy state for them. Saudi, like there's all these international neoliberal alliances, but we work on a very like nation state base in terms of activists. I know there are a lot of global like activists as well, but I want to expand that. I think the only way we can possibly challenge imperialism, challenge this unification of global power and neoliberalism that we've seen, is joining like an international leftist coalition, forming bonds with our Pan-African brothers and sisters, getting our indigenous brothers and sisters connected. So that's just like one part of the goal, what we're trying to do when we have these summits, like just help bring people together and try and discuss strategy. So that's kind of like what the goal and why we decided to do it.
Mm-hmm. You know, guys, obviously when trying to figure out political strategies about how to achieve our goals, the standard liberal answer is to continue to work within the system. Let's continue to build electoral political power. Let's try to drive as many people to the ballot box in order to affect the policy changes that we are hoping to achieve here. I mean, is it pragmatic to try to so-called work within the system, or is the urgency to tear the system down and build it anew? Does that take precedence over some of the, I guess, the longer range goals, or is the urgency there now to try to tear it down as opposed to try to piecemeal, incrementally make the living conditions better, I guess, over the course of the next 1,000 fucking years? I don't know what Democrats think. Like, I guess the Democrats think if you just keep voting for us for 1,000 more years, guys, y'all gonna be free one day. What's y'all's take?
Now, I don't like people wasting my time. Like that's something that always been a pet peeve of mine. Don't waste my time. And if you look at my history, I tried it. I canvassed for Bernie. I worked on the Bernie campaign. I was in South Carolina talking to our Black folks, giving speeches in Black barbershops, and I helped radicalize a lot of people. But if there was material evidence that showed that trying to take over the Democratic Party, joining their ranks, will pull the party to the left and pull the party to a pro-worker position, I would have more sympathy towards it. Like if your guys' strategy shifted the party to the left and turned into a more humanitarian organization, if workers was thriving right now, then I will have more tolerance. The problem is, if you look at the strategy that I used to endorse this strategy. It has been objectively true that the party has shifted to the right since you guys have tried the strategy. Like Biden is funding ICE more than Trump. He is funding more genocides. He is literally committed to more fracking, more offshore drilling. Like, if you look at almost every single metric, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm trying to spare you time here. Every single metric, he has shifted to the right, the country, for where Trump has been. I'm not saying Trump is better. They all the same face of the empire, right? I'm just saying it's just a fact that your strategy of pushing the Democratic Party, influence them to the left, has been a failure. I'm a fact-based person, evidence-based person. If I don't see the evidence of something working, I'm done. I'm done with it. And I think people who advocate for it is wasting our time. I'll tell you guys, that's a pet peeve of mine.
I have a little story about like electoral politics. I don't think that the system, the way it is in the US, it will ever work in our favor, in the favor of the people. Like if you have a system where your vote doesn't have the value of one unity, you're not actually deciding things. Like it's extremely, the system, like until I could understand that the electoral system in the US, I was like, so why do people even vote? Because it's so clear that it's like, we had that in history, back in history, like 1920s or something. It was called the politics of the coffee and milk, because it was at a time where São Paulo and Minas Gerais were like, they were sharing the government, federal government. They were just share 1 year São Paulo, 1 year Minas Gerais. Here, and that's in history back then, people went to the streets. Like the president that time sent, I forgot her name, the wife of Carlos Prestes back to the Nazis to be killed, and she was pregnant. So like people were like in the streets fighting an aggressive government like that would send you to be killed pregnant, right? And I like you get to know people, like the babies survive, but you get to know the people in the family, and you get to know these stories, and you're like, wow. So this been happening for so long in America, and it's okay. I just don't understand why we are letting this be okay. Like, really, Warnock was today asking for people to vote for him again? Like, the nerve! Where's my freaking $600?
Run me my
I
money.
mean, you're buying, right? So, like, at least be right, like, to the payment. I mean, sorry, I move a lot. I get fired. I'm like, why not? Why not everybody in the streets every day? Like, it's mind blowing.
I mean, you raise an excellent point, right? I mean, it has always been crystal clear, but I think that the urgency of the situation is becoming increasingly more obvious, I think, to more people every single day, despite that the government and the capitalist powers want to indicate to us that this pandemic is over. The disease continues to still rage, but obviously the effects of what people have dealt with over the past 2 years, a combination of mass death, mass disability, people lost their jobs, people were housing insecure, people continue to be food insecure, people are going poor, just trying to put gas in their cars, right? And all this while Joe Biden has the audacity to brag about sending many more billions of dollars over to Ukraine in military and economic support. I said, God damn, you gonna send them missiles, jets, and money, huh? Fuck you. Josanna, talk. But you feel me, right? So
yeah.
What are some of the conversations in which people, in which you are in community with, people that you are organizing with? I mean, all of the needs are so pressing and so urgent, but what are folks saying to you about the things that need to happen first, right?
Yeah, well, like by working at the summit, I'm in contact with my comrades back home, and it's they are all like, we are so happy that you are reaching out to us. And of course, it's a very complicated situation because, like, these are people that are on the ground, actually doing the work, doing the fight. So it's hard to get them on camera because we need to protect them. Because, like, the thing that's different, Kim, I think, like, it's like in the third world, the police does no-knock warranties every day. No-knock search every single day, every 15 minutes. So I don't know if it's the pressure of the violence that we already received that's putting us more up front. But we, like, people from South America, Central America, Africa, these the ones in the diaspora that are in Europe, they are ready. They want to have contact and, like, get together, because I feel like all the things I hear, like, student debt loan crisis, immigration crisis, healthcare crisis, housing crisis, all that I hear is like, this is a system that is about to fail and burn down by itself. It's important that the people take over. So when the new one is created, it's not as cruel and white supremacist like that anymore, so that people can have power, right? It's like I was in the Amazon rally on Sunday, and I thought about that a lot. I was like, all I hear when employees are unionizing is like, we are willing to seize the means of production, but we have to do that. We cannot let our own selves be co-opted or corrupted or, like, seduced by power, money, fame. Otherwise, we're just repeating the cycle and making the machine go. And then we're going to see war, and then we're going to see famine, and then we're going to crisis after crisis. Because some of us have our ass beat.
We were talking a little bit about that this morning on the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media, specifically about that notorious video that is floating around of some of the leaders of the BLM Global Network Foundation toasting champagne and brunching over the 1 year, their quote, anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. And, Nick, we as a community, sometimes we do suffer from, from a misleadership problem, right? There are people who have the microphone and who are in positions of influence and power, but they have been steadily taking us in the wrong direction. Well, in addition to that, I wanted to get your take about the need for coalition building, in addition to building Pan-African solidarity. I mean, you guys have a number of non-Black people that are going to be participating in this weekend summit. And talk to me about why it's important that we build multiracial, but definitely Black and brown-led coalitions that can hopefully get this empire down, get it in 6 feet, 6 feet under, 12 feet under, 20 feet under the ocean.
So first thing first, don't get me started on Black Lives Matter as an organization. I wanted to have hope when it first started. I was one of the people that was raising the red flags. I was marching in Kansas City at the George Floyd protest. And you just broke that story to me just now. Like, they were sipping champagne and celebrating on George Floyd's death. That's like I'm reacting to that right now. That's so insane, but also very predictable, because like there are a lot of people who are, and we talk about revolutionary undiscipline on our show all the time. There are a lot of people who think we can have a revolution. There are a lot of people who think that we can have Black liberation based on vibes, right? And we just vibe our way. We can find a way to liberation and success, even though if you look at all our amazing Black liberation groups, Black Panthers, a lot of the groups that was a part of the civil rights movement, it wasn't just vibes. It was a plan. It was a plan of action, a very distinct plan that was built through discipline, not nonsense like taking on Democratic Party, not nonsense like voting for Joe Biden, who wrote the crime bill. So you had Black Lives Matter in the middle of the election with Joe Biden, and he said that he's one to fund the police more in front of millions of people. It wasn't something that they was trying to hide. He said he wanted to fund the police more, but then Black Lives Matter continued to endorse them. And I don't know if you saw their release statement. When Biden and Harris won, they released a victory statement, despite the fact that Biden gave them no concessions whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So it was always clear to me, and there was also another story we reported on, how Black Lives Matter was essentially infiltrated by a bunch of Hillary Clinton-style Democrats. It pretty much essentially became a Democratic Party front. As a revolutionary discipline, we don't allow that. Like the fact, and I was raising concern, and people were like, "Oh, you're just being negative, Nancy. You just trying to be negative." But you see the results of that, right? They spent a $6 million mansion, and I get that at Revolutionary Blackout we can be assholes sometimes, but we can't do this thing where we allow infiltrators. We can't allow people to hijack and destroy our movement, because it has been shown, and this is literally on the record, CIA documents, how they purposely try and infiltrate left movements. And by the way, when they say left movements, they mostly mean Black movements. They infiltrate the shit out of our movements the same way the Black Panthers was infiltrated. It's something that they actively do, and we need we need a militaristic, and not like hostile. We don't have to be rude to each other, but we need to find a way. Because the question was originally about coalition building. We can't build coalitions based on indiscipline, based on bad ideology. If you build a coalition based on bad ideology, you're going to get bad results. And now I want to get to your question as well, because me and my great sister Finney, we talk about this, we advocate this all the time, the need of having a Black and brown-led movement. Like, if we are advocating for our own issues, we need to be in front. We need to lead those issues. And I'm not, once again, I don't bring up nothing just to vibe. That's not just a pen I made just because it feels good. Like, we saw what happened when you had white American communists and socialists in front of the movement. They sold out Black workers. There was a large debate in America during the communist movement and workers movement in the 30s and 40s. And the debate between white leftists was, should we actually care and promote Negro issues? And we know who historically won that debate, right? We lost. We didn't get that. FDR excluded us from a lot of the benefit that white America benefited from. There were a lot of unions that wasn't giving benefit to black workers. So there was this hostile leadership, and now we gotta learn from those mistakes. So we leading our own revolution. If you truly have our back and you truly have our best interest in mind, you will let us lead. Because historically, whenever the bourgeoisie, whenever the white dominant class leads a movement, they will negotiate you out of that. So if you have, like, whenever there's any concession the establishment will give you, they will, like, sell those people out and they would do it. And I'm not making that up. That's been historically true. And there are many historical examples of them doing this. So if you're a white ally and you understand this and you're willing to let us lead and you're willing to be great on these issues, we want you aboard. Like, if you agree with us on this issue, if you had a right ideology and mindset, where you're really standing in solidarity with us instead of trying to be in front for clout, just because you don't want to be a leader, I'm all about forming no coalition, those people. And that's the people you see on Revolutionary Blackout all the time. And that's the people we bring on the Anti-imperialism Summit, the people that have these, they're just disciplined. They understand what we're trying to accomplish. So hopefully that kind of answers where you're getting at.
It does. So the summit kicks off Friday. It's the 29th through May 1st. And people should absolutely tune in. If you're not already subscribed to Revolutionary Blackout Network, please go over there and subscribe so you can get notifications about the different discussions as they're happening. So what can people expect when they tune in this weekend? I know I mentioned a few of the people that you guys have confirmed. I even think some of our BPM family is going to be part of this summit this weekend. So y'all got to put on your promoter hats now, guys. Talk to me about who's going to be there, when, all weekend. Yes, you should tune in, but what can people expect from the conversations that are going to be held?
There's so many.
I think there's a lot of. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Sorry, Josanna, go ahead. Ladies first.
Thank you. I think there's a lot of educational panels and panels that would discuss the crises that are happening right now too. And panels to bring, like, as I said before, like this exchange of history of what's going on in your country, what's coming on mine. We have a panel that I'm very excited on Saturday is about the history of the landless movement with the members of it. And we also
the
have
Who movement. Wait, say that again, baby. The Who movement. You said
the
something.
landless movement. The acronym is MST. Is the landless movement in Brazil. Some of the people that follow the Black Power media know about them.
Yeah.
They are like a very wonderful leftist movement that I'm so honored to bring them to the US so we can learn from them. They occupy lands from corporations and they plant, they work the land and they distribute the food. But they also have an educational program. They have a revolutionary program. They're amazing. We also have, is Luna Oy coming, Nick? On with you?
Yeah, we have so many great speakers like Dr. Gerald Horn. Like, there's so many people that I want to talk to that we have featured as guests on this program. I'm also going to run a panel talking about the history of the CIA. We're going to have a Palestinian rights organization to talk about Israel-Palestine. There's so many great programs. We're gonna talk about how media manufacture consent for war. We're gonna have Dr. Vijay Prashad on. There's so many great panel topics from many different perspectives, and that will what the goal was, to bring as many different perspectives as we can to build a true international leftist coalition. As you guys know, Black Power Media is going to be there as well, and I'm super excited that you guys will be joining us because I love the work that you guys do. I love everything that you guys are about, and we need to start forming these coalitions, especially when it comes to talking about these great issues, because it's great that we got like networks that are actually speaking truth to power on these issues. So now we can really start locking hands. Now that RBN is 1 year old, we get our foot in the door. So we did General Strike Summits, we got Anti-imperialism Summit that we're doing now. We're going to continue to expand, not only just in media, but in activism as well. Expand toward for the poor, uniting people, and we want to be in this in the fight with you guys at Black Power Media. I love the work you guys do, and thank you for giving us this
Mhm.
opportunity. And look forward to watching. I won't be on the panel. I'll be watching the panel that you guys on the Anti-imperialism Summit. It's gonna be great. So looking forward to it a lot.
Well, listen, all the love is 100% reciprocated because I mean, I see the work that you guys are doing. You guys are heavily invested in mutual aid. I know Unholy Rome is roaming the country,
Love that, brother.
organizing in people and assisting unhoused folks. So you guys do more than just lip service. You are out here pounding the streets and making sure that we are touching the most vulnerable and trying to get our people educated so that we could be organized, so that we can get this revolution kicked off and dismantle the empire as it ought to be. But I want to thank you both so much for making some time to come on over here. Both of y'all's first time on the show. I'm so excited. And listen, everybody, if you're not already subscribed to Revolutionary Blackout Network, please go over there and do that and set your notifications to check out this weekend's Anti-imperialist Summit. It starts on Friday. It runs through Sunday. Lots of folks that you want to hear from are going to be there. Josanna, I'm so excited to looking forward to joining your panel on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. And I appreciate so much you inviting me. And this is going to be great. So thank you guys. Thank you both. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Josanna. You guys have
Thank
any
you, brother.
last words you want to say before I kick you off?
I just want to say thank you so much for having us, Kim. I love your work too. And I'm very happy to be here. And I hope we can all get together in the summit and work from there.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. Good luck. Have a wonderful summit. As Kalanji Changa say, have a powerful week, Black people. We love you.
Much love, my friends. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Nick and Josanna from the Revolutionary Blackout Network. Their Anti-imperialist Summit this weekend starts on Friday, runs through Sunday. I want you guys to be sure to check it out. Check it out. You guys are going to. Oh, Big Teal said they're leaving already. Listen. I was tempted to ask, did they want to rock the whole hour because. Well, because it's Nick and Josanna, duh. But I don't like to hold people hostage. Sometimes people got shit to do, Big Teal. Sometimes people got things to do out here, Big Teal. They can't be kikiing with me on the internet all day. But I'm so glad that the Fire Fam, you guys, all right, real recognize real. I'm glad that y'all are showing love to the good folks over there. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Afraid Not. Thank you, Franny Francais. Thank you, Akata. I love you guys. Thank you, Franco, and of course Alicia. And I see Tay in the house. Come through, Holly Horn. David Selberg. Oh, shit. Big Pun done came through. Yes. So, yes. Yeah. Y'all be sure to check that out. Subscribe, RBN, and set your notifications. Real quick, let's take a little pause for the cause. If you have not already liked the video, please like the goddamn video. Please and thank you. Subscribe to the motherfucking channel. I hate to be cussing at y'all, but damn it, I feel passionate about this shit. Subscribe to the motherfucking channel. Subscribe to the channel. Share. Like, subscribe, follow us places around the internet. We are at BIDWKB on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. And if you want to materially support the channel, thank you. We appreciate that as well. $ BIDWKB for Cash App, at BIDWKB for Venmo, PayPal.me/BIDWKB. And of course, we love patrons. Come on, fuck with us on Patreon, patreon.com/BIDWKB. Real quick, gang, for May Day and Mother's Day, we're going to have a sale on our merch. I will be dropping that promo code on Friday to get 25% off. Look at me, I'm a fucking capitalist. This is bullshit. Jesus. I got to make promo codes for my merch because, Jesus, we got to sell shit. It's crazy. But anyway, yes, so we're going to have a promo code available Friday for you to get 25% off BIDWKB merch for the May Day. Is that incongruent with May Day, by the way, to try to be selling people shit on May Day? Maybe I have to rethink this. But it is a May Day / Mother's Day sale. So I know your mother has been dying for that Burn It Down with Kim Brown t-shirt. Do not deny your mother any longer. There you go. There you go. I wanted to move along, gang, because, 75% of my content is complaining about white folks. Yes. I mean, if white folks started to act up and act correct in unison, got their shit together, what the fuck would I talk about truly? But They not. So fret not. I have a lifetime of endless content because I do not expect the whites to get it together en masse, not anytime soon. But sometimes, even beyond the obviously crew of enlightened John Brown Brigade members that we have here with us today, because y'all do give me hope. It's like, whew. Ooh, there's a couple good white folks out here still. But there are truly some radical white folks out here. We are not talking about the right-wing extremists, Proud Boys, QAnon. No, there's some good radical white folks on the left who are out here in the name of righteousness to try to bring attention to shit. And the first one I want to tell you about is something that came across my Twitter feed. We're gonna get a B1 there today. Animal rights activists are an interesting bunch because in principle, I agree with making sure that there are not cruelty to animals, that animals in the biodiversity that we have on this planet need to be protected in many ways. But the way that animals are processed for our food troubles a lot of folks. And I think if we actually knew, if it was a mass awareness of how our food was actually prepared, people would probably make different decisions. And let me be clear, I'm not a vegan nor a vegetarian. I eat shit out of fucking chicken. But when I heard about this story and saw this story about these animal rights activists from an organization called Direct Action Everywhere, never heard of them before, but they made quite the statement at a recent NBA playoff game in Minneapolis. Alicia, you in here. I know you've seen this shit. I want you guys to check out what we're going to see, because it took me a couple times. I had to watch this a couple times. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, where did this woman come from? What you are about to see, you're going to get two different perspectives of the action. And I call it a fucking action because this white lady was about that action. Come through, white lady. Sasha Zimmel, a protester from St. Louis, Missouri, dressed up like an NBA referee, and during the recent Timberwolves playoff game that was held, what's the name of the Timberwolves arena? I don't fucking remember. Big Snow Arena. I don't know what the fuck that shit is called, but in Minneapolis, right? She showed up dressed as a referee and was inching her way towards the Timberwolves billionaire owner, Glenn Taylor. Now, Glenn Taylor, I don't know him personally, but he seems like a piece of shit. He according to Forbes and according to the Direct Action Everywhere's press release, he is Minneapolis's most wealthy billionaire. Apparently, Minneapolis has more than one billionaire, and this guy is the richest one. And part of his wealth comes from his family farm. He is the owner of something called Rembrandt Enterprises, and this is Glenn Taylor's factory egg farm based in Iowa. And I know you guys have heard recent stories about millions of birds, millions of chickens have been culled. Tens of millions. I mean, a lot of fucking chickens. They've killed a lot of chickens recently. They even killed a shit ton of chickens on the Maryland's Eastern Shore because of supposed avian flu, right? This bad batch of bird flu going around. And I guess you can't eat a chicken with bird flu. I don't fucking know. So the method in which Glenn Taylor's Rembrandt Enterprises culled these 5 million chickens at his egg farm in Iowa is that they turned the heat up and literally roasted these chickens alive, which, once I heard that, I was like, oh, well, that sounds horribly cruel. I don't know if I had a concept of how you cull chickens. I don't know how, I guess that is how you kill 5 million fucking chickens. I don't know how, I guess if you were sending bammers around wringing their necks, that would take a long time. Either way, it definitely sounds like an inhumane practice. And Sasha Zimmel, yes, this activist took proactive action, direct action everywhere. Let's take a look at this clip from this recent Timberwolves game and watch closely.
Vanderbilt showing off that low-key bounce, keeps it alive. Edwards finds the cutter, Beverly floats it. Towns wrestles through. Jackson went down. Towns.
Yo, she knew that was going to happen, right? I'm sure she fully expected for security to tackle her. And if you could pop up, I guess that would be the press release for me today. The Direct Action Everywhere's Twitter page says that Sasha was handled harshly by the police and by arena security, which I'm sure they should have been expecting. Of course, Sasha, as a white woman, had the privilege of, I guess, not being shot dead in front of a national audience. I don't know how that went down. If it had been a black person or a non-white person, it could have gone down a little different. But I respect that shit. Let me rephrase. I respect it so long as the rest of their politics line up in the sense of, and I'm not generalizing here. I'm just, if it does not fly, if it does not apply, let it fly. But some white people value the lives of animals than they do of black people, right? or indigenous people or non-white people. Like they will go to the ends of the earth to swim out in the middle of the lake to catch the dog that's drowning, but will step over the unhoused person on the street, or will roll up their windows when the local black squeegee kid is coming around while they're sitting in traffic. You know what I'm saying? So so long as all of those politics lined up, I respect being about it for the animals. But please make sure you keep that same energy for the people as well. So somebody ran us some bucks. Look at that. Thank you, Bucks. Bucks runner who ran us some bucks out here. Our good people. Who is this? I'm Donnie. Thank you, Donnie. Afraid not. She said, sorry, it's not a cash app. Still trying to make it into the 21st century, Don. It's good. We love you. Love you, Kim. Mean. Am I mean? Oh, you mean it. I was like, Don, I'm not talking about you when I'm talking about white folks. You better cut it out. John Brown Brigade already. Stand up, Don. I already know. I know what side of the barricades you on over here, Don. Don't play with me. Afraid not. See, that's why I love you guys so much, because you guys obviously know I do not do my show for white people, right? The white people are not my target audience. But the fact that we got some fucking faithful white listeners, I love the shit out of y'all, because y'all have never not all white people with me once. Never not all white people with me once. That's the shit I really appreciate. And your material support also, obviously. But the fact that y'all have never not all white people with me means a lot. It hits me right here. I love you, Dom. Thank you so much for your super chat support. The other radical white action that we need to discuss, and I'm going to take a little bit more of a somber tone, because what this brother did still continues to really send chills down my spine. And of course, I'm talking about Wynn Allen Bruce. So this is interesting. The story is pretty remarkable on several levels. Today's Tuesday. Friday night, here in DC, there was a lot of shit going on. Okay, I don't know what the fuck transits, what's happening astrologically, celestially in the sky. But DC was wilding the fuck out on Friday, okay? We had a sniper attack. And of course, the news breathlessly reported that because it happened in one of the upper crust neighborhoods. And while shootings happen all across DC every single day, it's pearl clutching time when it happens in places where white people are not expecting bullets to fly. So we had a sniper attack. Thankfully, nobody was murdered. A few people were injured, but nobody was killed. There was that. Washington, D.C. Police, Metropolitan Police, MPD, shot and killed a 42-year-old woman. I want to say this is in the Petworth neighborhood. I'm still not really clear on those details. Police said that she was waving a gun around, refused to drop the weapon, refused to obey commands. They shot and killed her. I think we'll probably hear more about that. But the other big story that happened Friday in D.C. was something that did not get local coverage the night that it happened, or even the next day, or even fucking days later. God damn. I was watching NBC News, Channel 4 here in D.C., and I'm like, you motherfuckers are really not going to report on this shit, huh? Friday evening, 6:30, Wynn Allen Bruce was at the steps of the Supreme Court, and he set himself on fire, okay? That is called self-immolation. Is it immolation or immolation? IMMOL. Ation, possibly. Okay. But he set himself on fire. Okay. And let's be clear. According to Win Allen Bruce's social media post, this was not just a suicide. This was simply not an act of a man fed up with life and was ready to stop living. This man was a practicing, I believe it's Shambhala Buddhist priest. And there is a tradition of Buddhist priests setting themselves on fire in protest of war, in protest of human suffering. And in Win Allen Bruce's case, this self-immolation, this act of political defiance was done in order to bring attention to the climate crisis. Friday was Earth Day. And as we have talked about here on this planet, and on this program, the climate is in bad fucking shape, kids. I mean, to quote a recent movie that I saw on Netflix, The Adam Project, with Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo and Zoe Saldana. A good movie, by the way. I was surprised by that. Mark Ruffalo's character says, it's later than you think. it's later than you think on this climate shit, guys. And Win Allen Bruce set himself on fire to bring attention to this coming climate disaster. In some ways, we are already in the throes of it. We are already experiencing this. We are seeing sea level rises. We are seeing ice shelves in the Arctic and Antarctic collapse. Climate scientists are projecting that we will experience, in addition to those things, increasing powerful storms, tornadoes, hurricanes. Wildfire season is already underway. People in California and New Mexico, and I know, where's my girlies, Anna Hart, and where's my girlies, Northern Witch. It's going to be fire season in y'all neck of the woods real soon. Schultzy 100, you guys already know what time it is. You guys are seeing these wildfires get worse. And this shit is just going to get worse. And there is seemingly no political will to do what some global climate scientists have recommended. Like, listen, if we have to put the brakes on all of this shit, all of this carbon emitting, coal burning, oil drilling, like all of this, if we were to cease it, we could possibly not experience cataclysmic disaster. The shit just might be fucked up, but maybe it won't be cataclysmic if we fucking stop. And gang, it can be done. And the fact that it won't be done is what is so goddamn depressing, right? We saw this during the pandemic. When I was working at the Real News, right when the pandemic was about to jump the fuck off, right? I interviewed a NASA's climate scientist. I interviewed this fella. He worked down at Robert Goddard in Greenbelt. And what NASA had released was satellite images over China, over some of the most heavily populated and polluted cities of China, and how with the lockdowns, there's money. What's happening here? Oh, Tay, thank you. Thank you so much for that, darling. Thank you so much for your support. Leanne, oh, that's Mama Heart. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But with the pandemic, when the China shut down and basically the global economy shut down, what happened, gang? The air cleared up. What happened, gang? The water cleared up. What happened, gang? Shit got cleaner. Imagine. What a radical concept. If you fucking shut capitalism down for even a short amount of time, the earth will begin to repair itself. And even witnessing that firsthand, all of us did, our leaders did, political leaders did, even witnessing that, knowing that it is possible, and really in how quick of a duration of time in which improvements can begin to be made in the climate, air quality, etc. The fact that we are still on this course with seemingly no off ramp, like we're not gonna get off this ride, like we seriously just gonna do this capitalism shit until the fucking planet breaks, huh? Till the planet fucking breaks, huh? So I wanted to take a moment to honor the spirit of Win Allen Bruce. I want to take a moment to honor his sacrifice, to honor his political statement, and that hopefully that his death will not be in vain. And please acknowledge, gang, This incident was intentionally blacked out from the media. I saw it. I saw it fucking happening in real time. Someone called me Friday evening and asked me, did I know about what happened at the Supreme Court? I'm like, no, what happened at the Supreme Court? Oh man, they had to medevac somebody from the Supreme Court. Really? That's not common. That doesn't happen often in DC, okay? That just does not happen. And for the media, local and national, to intentionally ignore it told me something, that this was something that they did not want you to see. They did not want you to witness this man's charred, burning body. They did not want you to know the reasons in which he decided to do this act of political rebellion, right? It was a person setting themselves on fire in Tunisia, which started the Arab Spring. Was that 2011, 2012, gang? Somewhere's in theirs, yeah, 2012. In Tunisia. Kicked the whole shit off, okay? Arab Spring, y'all remember? The whole Arab world was rocking, charted from Tunisia to fucking Turkey. It was rocking. And our media, and obviously our political overlords, the capitalists, they all know that, I hope they know, that maybe Americans are closer to a revolution than we think. And making people aware that this political act happened might have done something to galvanize Americans. Now, the media is going to tell you that the reason that they didn't report on this when it happened is because they say that when there are reports or high-profile stories regarding suicides, that there tend to be copycats. And, you know, there could be a tiny bit of truth to that. But be that as it may, do they not report on fucking mass shootings when they happen? Isn't there a commiserate risk of copycat mass shooters? So the fuck? I mean, your logic makes no sense here. You're not going to report the news. You're not going to report something that's newsworthy because you're worried that other people will copy it. Well, you report on fucking shootings every goddamn day. I see carjackings every fucking day on the news. Do you have that concern that you're gonna inspire more carjackings or more mass shootings? Of course fucking not. Your job is to report the news. Their job is not to determine what is news, even though that is exactly what corporate media gatekeeping is and does and will continue to do. But I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of the story and say his name. And shout out to the brother from BPM and the Salafu movement and the FTP movement, Kalanji Jamachanga, for bringing the story up on BPM as well. And we did not collaborate. I didn't know Kalanji was going to talk about Mr. Allen. And I'm so appreciative that he did. You guys, did y'all get paid this week? What's going on? What's going on? Quaker Anarchist, thank you so much for your super chat support. That is so kind. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, darling. And is this Fraudy Francais? Fraudy Francais! Fraudy Francais. And not for nothing, cute hair, Kim. That's so kind of you, Franny. Listen, just FYI, when I have my hair pulled back, it means I was able to do nothing. The hair was uncooperative. I said, cuss you hair. Back in the elastic you go. But thank you, Freddie. That's so sweet. That was really sweet of you to say that. Take a little pause for the cause, gang. Do me a favor if you haven't already. I have a feeling like this is our same 60, yeah? This is like part of our same crew of youngins. What's up, Comrade Kwame? Come through. James Thompson, come through. I love to see my BPM All-Stars in here as well. Kamari, come through. Yuakata, yes. Love to see y'all in here. Thank you so much. Who is Spin Cycle Dragon? What's up, Spin Cycle Dragon? Use a new name in here. We will welcome you to the jump. Come on into the jump. Hit the thumbs up on the jump. Subscribe to the jump. Share the jump. Play the jump. Tell everybody about the jump. And what is the jump? I is the jump. Do I have more tabs open? I do. Let me close that. Thank you, today. Next story I wanted to go to, guys, and I'm gonna hit these kind of quick because, you know, I can't hold Tunde hostage all night, y'all. Tunde out here in the real world fucking commuting and shit. We gotta be cognizant of Brother Tunde's time, and that's cool. Pop up, let's go to C, Tunde. C1 gang. Let me hit y'all with a quickie addiction. Could be an addiction. Quickie addition of Cops Ain't Shit. Now, we haven't done a Cops Ain't Shit in a while. But this story was particularly egregious. This is a very special, special edition of Cops Ain't Shit. And while certainly an entire segment could absolutely be done about the Baltimore County Police Department and their long legacy of racism and shooting people, just to give you guys some historical context, Corinne Gaines, the young sister who was murdered in front of her child. Oh, the police also shot her child. This is these fucking pigs, okay? This is them. Baltimore County Police Department. Ugh. Klansmen with badges. But I guess that's all police, right? So, a few weeks ago, guys, actually not even a few weeks. This is maybe 11, 12 days ago. Local Baltimore media breathlessly reported about a shooting that happened in the Dundalk area of Baltimore County. Dundalk, it's white. it's white, and it's a special brand of white too. The Dundalk Essex whites, they are unique. That's not a diss. That's just a statement. I think anybody from, especially the Baltimore metro area, will let you know that the Dundalkians are a special kind of folks. And there was a quote unquote police involved shooting. And I want you guys to take a look at this piece. This is going to be from WJZ TV. WJZ, I think, is the ABC or I think they're the CBS affiliate in Baltimore. Yeah. So, but I want you guys to really pay attention to the amount of times that the anchors and the reporters use the phrase police say or investigators say, right? And this particular piece was interesting to me because they actually interviewed a person who kind of went off script, maybe said the quiet part out loud. I was actually very surprised that they even kept that in. But there has been a twist to this story, so keep that in mind. So what you're about to watch, there has been a 180-degree turn from what was originally reported here. Let's take a look at that.
Well, it is going to be a difficult weekend, however, for some people who live in one community in Dundalk. And we're going to begin with that because there was a police shooting there yesterday, and it rocked a neighborhood. One person still recovering at the hospital right now.
Baltimore County officers say they were looking for homicide suspects when this situation escalated. WJZ is live. Amy Quata with what we're learning. And Amy, family members of the victim and neighbors, they still have a lot of questions today.
Meg, Denise, that's right. Neighbors tell us the shooting came as a surprise and the gunshots were unnecessary. Baltimore County Police say detectives were in the neighborhood yesterday afternoon attempting to arrest two suspects believed to be involved in a 2021 homicide. That's when they say someone in a black Infiniti rammed into one of their patrol cars and police started shooting, hitting the driver. Officers immediately provided first aid until medics arrived and took the driver to the hospital. We are still working to learn their condition. Now, this all happened around 1 and near the intersection of Maryland Avenue and Avon Beach Road in Dundalk. Investigators say the driver inside the car was not one of the suspects detectives were looking for, but is now considered a suspect for ramming into an officer's car and will be charged. A woman whose son was at the scene tells WJZ she heard this all play out on the phone.
My son called me, and when my son called me, they were shooting the car as I was on the phone with him. I rushed home from work to find out what's going on, and they still aren't telling me anything. They never announced who they were. When they pulled up on the scene, they rammed the car, still not announcing that they were police.
And police say the 5 detectives who were on scene at the time of the shooting are now placed on routine administrative leave. It's unclear how many officers opened fire, but we're also told no detectives were hurt and none of them were wearing body cameras.
Well, that's convenient. None of them were wearing body cameras. Police reform. How's it working out for everybody? Well, guys, this was, if you could pop up that Fox 45 article, because I was trying to find a follow-up video piece, and I will confess to you guys, I did not search beyond YouTube. Perhaps if I'd have went directly to these news agencies' websites themselves, I probably would have found a piece, but it was funny how I could find several pieces about that shooting, but not a single piece about this, what I'm about to read you guys, okay? So just generally, fuck Fox 45, basically. They are also a Sinclair station, which is, if you guys are familiar with media ownership of Sinclair Broadcasting, very right-wing. They what did they do? They carry Armstrong Williams's fucking show. What's the other bitch? I can't think of her name. But anyway, Fox 45 Baltimore, this is what they wrote on their website. So a man whose arrest last week ended with Baltimore County detectives shooting and critically wounding a nearby driver has been released from jail, and all the murder charges were dropped. Hold on. Let us not bury the lead here. Excuse me? I'm sorry, what? The police shot a nearby driver who didn't have shit to do with shit? Listen to this. Fox 45 has reviewed the video footage of the shooting, and it casts doubt on what the police department versions of events. Now, the person in question, whom police alleged that they were trying to arrest, was a man named Brian Rodriguez, and they wanted to arrest him on murder charges, okay? Oh, but here, want to hear something cute? But I kind of said it because, okay, the way in which Fox 45 is framing this story, they are trying to still give the police the benefit of the doubt. So 41-year-old Brian Rodriguez was accused of being part of a plot to kill blah, blah, blah. That's not even fucking important because the Baltimore County State's Attorney, Scott Schellenberger, confirms that Brian Rodriguez's release from Baltimore County Detention Center on Thursday. Quote, the charges were dropped based upon the finding of exculpatory evidence that he was not involved. This evidence was discovered after his arrest, Schellenberger said. Oh, well, it sounds to me as though State's Attorney Schellenberger, because they point out in this article that Mr. Rodriguez, was indicted on a grand jury. Well, who the fuck presents the evidence to the fucking grand jury? The prosecutor's office. So clearly, this man's office is in shambles. Shambles. You out here presenting some bullshit evidence, getting people indicted on murder charges. You send the police out to go arrest this person. The police in turn shoot and critically injure, guys. The information about whom this driver is shockingly scant. Okay, all we know is that this person remains critically injured from being shot numerous times. And as you heard from that witness in the video, the police didn't announce themselves. They just started ramming cars, right? So what is interesting to me about this story is a number of things, because breathlessly, local media TV outlets took the word of the police and ran with it and reported it as fact. I don't know how many more times that these police, these law enforcement agencies are going to make these fucking media outlets look like some fucking clowns. It is goddamn amateur hour. Do you work for the people? No. Or are you cop stenographers? Yes. Are y'all just out here to be led by the nose by the fucking police? If the fucking police told you that the fucking sky was green, y'all go report the shit? Oh, well, the police spokesperson says that today's green sky is because of, if you motherfuckers don't get the whole fuck out of here. I am so disappointed with journalism as an industry, as a profession. They have absconded all of their responsibility to the public in order to hold power systems accountable, to hold the politicians accountable, and to hold the police accountable. And either y'all motherfuckers are just lazy or you fucking scared. Are you scared of the police? Then please just lead your reports about so-called police-involved shootings with that disclaimer. We are afraid of the police, so we're just going to report the narrative as the police have dictated to us. Here's what the police said. You're giving me big police say energy. And that's not journalism. That is public relations. That is cop stenography. That is an abandonment of your responsibility to the people, to us, to residents, to taxpayers, to non-fucking taxpayers, right? The police are a public menace. They are a threat to public safety. And you do not do the public any favors when you lie for the police, because when you repeat the police's lie, basically you align for them. Okay? There is an innocent person right now laid up, shot, didn't have shit to do with shit, who just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. All because police, empowered by the Baltimore County State's Attorney's Office, were sent to go arrest a person whom they didn't even have charged with murder for a whole fucking week, man. Make it make fucking sense. Cops ain't shit. Shout out to you, Baltimore County Police. Y'all get put on the Summer Jam screen for today. Guys, I'm going to hold that Supreme Court story till Friday because we're short on time, but I did want us to please do me a favor, hit like and subscribe and all the good shit. We appreciate it. I wanted to send some very special positive vibrations, healing energies to Eddie Conway. Marshall Eddie Conway celebrated his 76th birthday on, I believe, April 23rd, okay? Eddie is a former Black Panther. Eddie spent 44 years in jail, incarcerated in the state of Maryland as a political prisoner. And upon his release, Eddie, he did not rest on his laurels at all. Eddie got to work in the community in Baltimore City. I know Eddie did a lot of work up and around Gilmore Homes. I know he did a lot of work basically all over the city, trying to empower Black people, organize Black people, liberate Black people. This has been Eddie's life's work. And Eddie right now, unfortunately, is in hospital. He's dealing with a very, very serious illness. And I want you guys to, oh shit, I didn't pull up her Twitter. If you guys actually follow the Real News, okay, the Real News is whom gave Eddie a job after he was released from jail. And whatever my personal opinions and personal conflicts may have been with Paul J, and I shout out to Jared Ball and Kamau Franklin because they echoed a similar sentiment on BPM. You know, Paul J didn't have to give Eddie a job. He didn't. He didn't have to pay him a living wage and give him an employment opportunity that had health insurance where Eddie could attend to his health needs. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people would have done that for a former Black Panther. Not a lot of people would have done that for a lot of formerly incarcerated people, especially those who served 44 years, right? So I wanted to take a moment to send Eddie love, to acknowledge Eddie, to send love to Eddie's family, special love going out to Eddie's wife, Dominique. And I need you guys to, I'm so sorry, I can't tell you where to find Dominique on Twitter. That's the one thing I did not pull. But the one thing I think actually on here is her email address. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find that. Because I think that they are trying to get some support for Eddie. And to be honest, I apologize for being scant on the details. Actually, tell you what, I'm going to drop this link in the chat. And hopefully, if you guys are able or if you are so inclined, please take the time to read this piece written by Eddie's wife for Eddie in celebration of his 76th birthday, which you guys know is quite an accomplishment for our elders generally, but certainly for our veterans of the movement, right? A lot of them have not had the privilege of living to old age, right? So we are so grateful to have Eddie here with us, and I want us to please extend love and support to him and his family and thank him for his tremendous service to our community and fighting for our liberation. So thank you so much, Eddie Conway. What's up, Tunde?
I believe her Twitter handle is Sister Conspiracy or at Sister Conspiracy.
Can the folks hear you?
Yeah.
Is it Sister SISTER?
SISTA.
Oh, thank you.
Conspiracy.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Tunde.
Sure.
Okay, gang. I was gonna slap it here in the chat as well. Thank you. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So anyone that's watching this later, check the chat, check the live chat. We're dropping some info in there. Who is that? Ash Royal? Peace, baby. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much, Big Teal. Thank you. I love you guys. You, Akata, you guys are amazing. And by the way, I know BPM. Was it Jared? I saw the notification about a show with Eddie and his wife, and I have not watched it. And I'm not sure if that was Gerard. Was Gerard handling that? I'm not quite certain. But BPM also has a story up about Eddie that is recent. So please check that out as well. Gang, that's it. That's it for us today. Please come back here Friday and join us for the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. New time, 7 p.m. Eastern. For our patrons, n'oubliez pas, our AMA for April is also this Friday. So it's going to be right after or shortly after the conclusion of our live show. So if you are a patron or if you would like to become a patron and hang out for our AMAs, we would love to have you here. Join me tomorrow morning. Actually, join me tonight. Join me tonight. I'm going to be on with Chris Richards, the Eclectic Radical, and Renee Johnston. Renee Johnston, she's a supporter here. And Renee is, I'm very excited. So check out the Eclectic Radical YouTube channel. I think we're going live at 9 or 9:30 tonight. So it's going to be me, Chris, Renee, and I think Alex Suarez. So that should be a good time had by all. And tomorrow morning, the Remix Morning Show, as you guys already know, 8 a.m. Eastern. Chop it up with me, Kalanji, Kamal, Gerard, Ed Doctor. It's a good time. Always had by all. And Jackie's on her way to Cuba. So, you know, I'm jealous as a motherfucker. So, I mean, bon voyage, bon vacances to Jacqueline. But god damn, why could she put me in her suitcase? I want to go to Havana. Free me, Jackie, free me. Anyway, I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning and we'll see you back here on Friday and see you tonight for Eclectic Radical. On behalf of Tunde and Molly, we love you guys. Don't forget, COVID is still out here to jump on people. I do not want it to jump on you. Wear your fucking mask when you are inside in public places. Love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye, y'all.